The psychology of people who love staying at home. You know that friend, the one who always cancels plans at the last minute. You might think they're flaky or rude, but science tells a different story. They are actively protecting something vital, their inner equilibrium. We live in a society that equates visibility with validity. The culture romanticizes the hustle, the crowded bars, and the neon-lit late nights. But if you're someone who gets more excited about a Friday night in pajamas than a night out, welcome. You are about to feel very seen. Today, we are breaking down the deep psychological architecture of the homebody, because staying home isn't just about avoiding the world. It's an act of profound self-preservation. To understand this, we have to look at our biology. It all comes down to how our internal batteries are charged and drained. Every social interaction, even a dinner with favorite people, acts as a slow, steady drain on a homebody's internal battery. Navigating social expectations takes processing power. For a homebody, home isn't just a physical structure. Home is the only battery charger that actually works, governed by a framework known as optimal arousal theory. When a homebody chooses to stay home, they aren't hiding from life out of fear. They are simply managing their biology. Their nervous system is wired to seek equilibrium in stillness rather than in motion, redefining staying in as the ultimate act of self-care.
But there is something deeper happening here than just basic introversion. The love for staying home is deeply intertwined with the fundamental human need, the desire for autonomy and control. Step outside your front door, and the world immediately becomes completely unpredictable. You cannot control the volume of the stranger talking next to you on the train. You cannot control the sudden, last-minute changes to your schedule. You cannot control the bright, harsh overhead fluorescent lights in an office, or the draining, repetitive small talk with people who ask, "How are you?" but don't actually care about the answer. For the average person, this unpredictability is just a minor annoyance. But for individuals who navigate the world with high anxiety, neurodivergence, or high environmental sensitivity, this lack of control isn't just annoying, it is exhausting. It keeps their nervous system in a constant state of low-grade, low-level fight or flight. Now, contrast that chaotic outer world with the environment inside your home. At home, you are the absolute ruler of your domain. You control the lighting. You control the acoustic landscape. You select the exact temperature, the scent in the air, the physical comfort of the furniture, and most importantly, the vibe. For a sensitive person, this control isn't a luxury. It is a matter of emotional survival. Home becomes a sanctuary, a predictable, safe container, where the outside world can no longer make demands on your psyche. It is the one place where you don't have to perform, mask, or adapt. Here is a fascinating piece of data that society rarely discusses. Landmark psychological studies show that people who have a high affinity for solitude tend to score higher. They are often more creative, highly introspective, and exceptionally strong problem solvers. There is a historical reason for this. Innovation rarely happens in a crowd. The crowded bar, the loud party, these are spaces for consumption and performance. But the quiet corner, the armchair with a book, the deep, uninterrupted thought spiral at 2 in the morning, those are the exact incubator spaces where the best ideas are born. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Albert Einstein. When you are alone at home, your brain transitions into what neuroscientists call the default mode network. This is the brain network that activates when you aren't focused on the outside world. It's the engine behind daydreaming, complex memory processing, empathy, and creative synthesis. Staying home isn't doing nothing. It is the deliberate clearing away of external noise so that your inner world can finally speak. However, we have to look at this phenomenon with absolute candor. Sometimes, people stay home for a much darker reason. When social anxiety becomes paralyzing, or when clinical depression quietly whispers into your ear, What's the point of leaving anyway? In those moments, the home undergoes a dark transformation. It stops being a sanctuary and quietly becomes a prison. Are you staying home because it fills you up? Or are you staying home because leaving feels too heavy? If staying home expands your mind and restores your energy, it is a refuge. But if it breeds hopelessness, it has become a cage. But for those who truly love staying home for the right reasons, they aren't missing out on life. They are living life through a different lens. They find deep, genuine joy in the tiny details that most people completely rush past. They savor the slow morning coffee routine. They notice exactly how the golden light hits the living room wall right as the sun sets. Your inner world is already rich enough, deep enough, and interesting enough to keep you company. So, if you routinely turn down invitations without a shred of guilt, you are not broken. You are just wired for depth over noise. You choose peace over performance. And in a world that can't seem to stop shouting, your quiet choice is a beautiful, silent rebellion. Tell me down in the comments, do you prefer staying home to recharge? The next video is going to hit you even harder. Click it and watch.